Hi, welcome back.
Hello.
We are Flore and Pato, and this is the Argentine Rugby Breakdown. Today we're going to talk about the review of round 3 of Super Rugby Americas. So, let's start.
Well, the first game of the round was the Pampas against Raptors. It was Pampas' first home game. They played at the Casi Club, the Club Atlético San Isidro, in the San Isidro town here close to the capital city of the Buenos Aires.
We went there.
We went to the game. It was really a nice atmosphere. It was great because it had the same atmosphere as a club game. It was exactly the same. There were
as an amateur game.
As an amateur club game, of course, and it was very very nice, the atmosphere.
The atmosphere, but what about the game?
Well, the game was not good. Well, it was a horrible game.
It's not. It was horrible. It's we expect. The expectation we have of Pampas is it's much more than what we are getting at the moment. So going to the club and being there and feeling like kind of good because we are watching a live game and then see them not perform as we want them to perform. And
yes, as we expect, as the quality of players that the team has, kind of you expect of them. But the thing is, it was not a good game, right? By both of the teams. We already talked about the Raptors being a combined team. Tons of players came from other sports. Actually, when we were leaving, we heard some Pampas games talking to a Raptors Pampas player talking to a Raptors playing, and the Raptors playing was saying that some of the boys of the team only started playing rugby 6 months ago. So you cannot expect
and having that they are performing really well, and you see an improvement. Like if we see the round 1 game and we see the round 3 game, we see a path of growth in Raptors. We don't see that in Pampas, which we should. They are being very sloppy. There were a lot of handling errors, a lot. Yeah. And
tons of indiscipline.
And we understand, or I understand, because this is why I believe that they are young players, but a young player knows or has to know how to handle the ball and not to take the eyes of the ball when you're taking, like when you're receiving a pass. They were very silly mistakes.
There were silly mistakes. True, there was sloppy game, tons of handling error, tons of the silly penalties committed. Regarding the handling, I got to say that it was an extremely hot night, really hot night. It was sweaty. It was really sweaty. And I think that kind of affected a lot of the handling. But still, it's not an excuse. I mean, the kind of a greasy ball, a greasy night, and I'm not gonna say that was just the reason why the handling error was poor, but I'm gonna say that it made it even worse than it could have been. And I disagree. I see Pampas. I watched the game once again after on the TV, and I saw some intent of the players at some point of trying some moves, trying to be more aggressive in playing.
We had the coach Fernandez Lowe was right in front of us. Yes. We are sitting in the crowd, and he was like in the whole second half he was screaming to the team volumen de juego, which is game volume, which is like open the game, and you could see an intent of doing that, but that had a lot of handling errors as well. We see that they made weird decisions, like at the end of the first half, the Raptors had a yellow card, so a second rower, and Pampas could easily, they were in their 20s, they have a penalty, they could have a scrum because they have one less, it will be very advantage of them to do it, and they didn't. It's like, and they take the easy 3 points. It's that type of they need someone with more it's well, so yeah
but that's
it's
the
so
thing.
experience.
Exactly. What I saw was ton of inexperience of these players, and they were the first game at home. They were nervous. They was clearly nervous. It was clearly the lack of experience showed, and that's something I saw on Raptors. Apart from being a combine and having not a lot of experience in players, they have some key players in some positions which really manage really well the game, and those are
Landajo,
Amorosino, one of Uruguayans, two of the Uruguayans that are in the pack, which I cannot recall the name right now. They are players with ton of experience, and you could see that. So they were managing the game, and they were using the physical strength that the Raptors players have, because the Pampas players were losing the 1-against-1 every time the Raptors players went on the offense. The Raptors players won the contact, and Pampas was always going one step backwards. It was really hard for Pampas to stop them and make them go back. So at the beginning that was really hard. And
they had Pampas had also lots of trouble with the lineup, but then you very cleverly mentioned that one of the
number 6.
Yeah, one of the guys was like 2 meters.
Yeah, the tallest player in the field was a Raptors player. The number 6, he's 2 meters 6 centimeters. And
it was the first guy you had in the lineup, so
every time you throw the ball, he was kind of there interfering, and Pampas lost tons of balls in the lineup. But when he got injured, had a HIA assessment, he didn't come back. From that moment onwards, Pampas did not had so much trouble in the lineup, and the first lineup after he went off, Pampas scored with a maul try. So yeah, I think that the problem was for these young guys finding a way to overcome that particular player and that particular set position.
Yeah, it's that capacity of kind of mutate and read the game and change towards what you need to do to win the game. So that's.
But I saw a couple of Pampas players which I think they're kind of raised the hand. They are kind of saying, okay, we have to go for it. Number 10, which was the player, Mendia, who was the player of the game. I really like number 6 of Pampas as well. He was yellow carded just at the beginning of the game, sadly, but after that he was kind of a really strong carrier.
I like also number 15.
Lando.
Yeah, he has a really good air game.
Yes, and he has he likes to attack. He likes to attack with the ball, to run the ball. So yeah, I think as we've been saying from the beginning, the Pampas team is a whole new team which only had a few players from the squad that had played previously in this tournament, and they just got together about 1 month before starting the tournament. So it's development team under 23, mostly of them, and they need games. They need to work a lot, and they're showing some players. There are some interesting players showing up. And I guess they will improve. Let's hope they can improve as much to reach the semifinals, because right now we're seeing them kind of not securing the 4th spot in the tournament.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, an interesting thing that was mentioned during the broadcast is that Argentina, this squad of Argentina has the one, at least the Pampas, has tons of under 20s, which are part of the big under 20 kind of recruitment for the World Cup, the under 20 World Cup that's going to be played in July in South Africa. So this is tons of experience for these under 20 players that are going to go to the World Cup. So they are kind of gaining tons of experience for that type of tournament, for that age. Sadly, we are not seeing that applied to this tournament, to this type of competition, but hopefully in the future they will have that.
Well, that was the first game. Pampas won 27-16, and now we're going to talk about the second game.
Yeah.
Well, the second game was Dogos against Peñarol. This, when we started to see, we thought it would be a very close game. Peñarol and Dogos kind of had we saw the similar level.
Mm-hmm.
It was what we thought it will be. The game was the best game of the round. It was very entertaining. Both teams, we see an improvement from the last round. Peñarol won this game, but it was really close. Like at the end, either of the both teams could win it. I saw a lot of good things from Dogos. Like the first half was more for Peñarol.
Yes, actually they started the first 10 minutes. After the first 10 minutes, there were 2 tries ahead.
Yeah.
14-0, something like that.
And then kind of the game went cold, and on the second half, Dogos just woke up, did something about it, and they turned it around, and very playing an interesting game, opening the game, running, and kind of.
Well,
it was a flow,
it had flow. Well, it's exactly what Pampas was trying to do but couldn't. Dogos is doing.
Yeah.
What Dogos is doing is what Pampas has been trying to do so far and haven't been able to. And Dogos is being able, and Dogos was able to. They were winning contacts in the second half. They were gaining the advance.
Yeah, and passing the ball at the right time, doing very good passes just to keep the ball moving, just to keep going, keep playing and keep the game fast. But then at the end they kind of again shut down, got tired. Probably Peñarol has a more experienced squad that played together for longer. So the experience beats al final in Spanish.
Well, Peñarol had 9 players who played the last World Cup, so that's a ton of experience. They are capped players, and at the end,
how to close a game.
Yeah, at the end it showed. It showed where they were winning the game. Then the game froze, like Flores said. Then the start of the second half. Dogos turned it around. They were on top of the game, and then just Peñarol kind of managed it better, and the energy maybe during the whole game, and they had more stamina at the end, and they were able to come up with some good plays and score. And they kind of showed the much more experienced squad they have.
Yeah.
And at the end, that was what I think that was what won the game.
Yeah, we see a lot of promise in both teams. I really like them both, and I think Peñarol also has to deliver more than what they are delivering at the moment, because they are not at the same level that they were last year. And if you see Selknam and then you see Peñarol and you think Peñarol won the last year tournament, they are not at the same level. We're going to talk about probably that later on this video.
And Peñarol is having issues with gaining the ball and in set pieces, line especially. They're having trouble there. And they're also making silly mistakes, handling errors, and silly penalties.
Again, lots of penalties, lots of mistakes. You don't penalties. You don't have to do. I don't know. We did like the referee as well in this one.
Yes.
It was very very good. So that's a good thing as well. I think definitely was the best game of the round, and both teams are very promising, and we have a very high expectations. More of Peñarol than of Dogos, but we think they can do interesting things in the next games.
Yes.
As I was saying, last game of the round was Cobras against Yacares. As we expected, Yacares won the game. I didn't expect that it would take them, that it was very hard for them for like the first 60 minutes to kind of shake Cobras off and just make a difference. For me it's like it was very lots of penalties, but a lot more than the other two games, I believe. That's the feeling I had. And I don't know, Yacares, for me, like, they woke up at the minute 60, say, okay, we have to win this game. What happened? We have to do something, and they finally got it. And
that's right. I think Yacares they weren't in control, but they were the ones who wanted it more during the whole game. They tried more. They didn't score. During the first half, they had tons of chances, so they didn't score. They worked hard, and they kind of they were in the 22s of Cobras tons of times, and they just didn't score. And just with the turnover ball or something like that, Cobras was able to score with easy plays. So
that says a lot of good things about Cobras. Like they are building a very strong defense.
Yes, and they've shown that against the other teams. But what I feel is, yes, they are building a strong defense, but I think it's more, they're getting there more because of the mistakes that the other teams are playing than for what they are doing in defense. I mean, they are defending somehow well, but the other teams are not scoring and making mistakes in the end field, in the last 22. They're making tons of mistakes. And that is allowing Cobras to come out without being scored against.
Yeah, if you put them against South African team, or I'm not even saying New Zealand, an Australian team, like you put against Rebels or against Sharks, you will see that the defense is not as good. But in this tournament, it's working for them.
Yeah, it's working for them because the other teams are
making mistakes, and they're reading the game enough to take advantage of the mistakes and score.
Yes, and they're also having tons of issues with discipline. Every game they have tons of yellow cards, and silly penalties, and they are not actually, they are coming short at the end of the game because coming to 60 minutes they no longer have the strength and the stamina to keep up, and the other teams are being able to score or finally find the rhythm they need to
win, to close the game.
Exactly, to close the games.
And with a gap, not as tight as it was like the 60 minutes. And
because now I'm recalling it, Yacares have tons of lineouts in the 22s. And every time they did that, they went for a line and maul. They lost the ball then south. It was not that Yacares had. I'm sorry, that Cobras kind of defended extremely well the maul. They were balls kind of being badly built or formed, and the ball losing the ball. Tons of silly mistakes with possession in the 22s. And that's not just because the other team is kind of defending really well. It's because you are not doing the right things there.
Yeah.
And Yacares was not the only team. The same happened with Pampas and Dogos.
And I think it's also because there are squads that they started building like this year, like a month ago. So they need to build that. That they need to play to know each other and to start to learn to read each other and what they the other player wants from you when passes the ball, does just read the game and read your team, and that you will win. You will win that skill by keep on playing. So maybe we'll see that. Maybe at the end of the tournament we'll see a more improved squad. We hope so.
Let's go.
We can talk about as well so far what we see of like the performance of all the teams during these 3 rounds. Somebody scored. Okay. We want to talk about also about the performance of all the teams during these first 3 rounds. We've seen so far a lot of discipline issues, a lot of them, or handling errors, which makes make the games very unflow, like because every 2 minutes they have to stop because they commit a penalty, an offside, they kicked the ball in the wrong direction, they lost the ball forward, and that just it kills the game.
It kills the flow of the game, definitely.
And you see that in every game. Like every team has handling issues, and every team has a lot of discipline issues, lots of yellow cards, lots of red cards as well. And that kind of worries me, especially for we talked about this before, I think in the first review, that if the referees are not more disciplined, like they don't mark more.
But actually, if they are being penalized for the faults, they are being strict. What we said is they are. What we said previously is that they are not penalizing certain infractions.
I was going to say that they are passing by a lot of things that they're not stopping the game for. Yes. So.
Well, imagine if they stop the game for that. It would be the game would be
2 days.
Yes, exactly. Terrible.
And I think that they have to kind of work that so they can have a more flow game. If you want to open the game and increase the speed first, lower a little bit the speed of game, and just do the basics, like play well, don't commit penalties, don't put yourself in an offside position, don't tackle when you don't have to tackle, don't do silly stuff that you can't do, and then when you get kind of your pace, okay, then you increase your velocity, and then you play like they want to be New Zealand, and they are not New Zealand. That's my problem now with the teams. It's like they are trying to play a game that they can't play.
Well,
they are not ready for.
True, but I also think it's the age of the players, the development of the players in many cases, and the other ones is the level of the players. There are players, that cannot roll as fast as they have to do. They don't have the speed, the mental speed to not commit that. It's because this is the level of players they are. The idea of this tournament is to
give them that,
improve this, and even at some point, but to younger players, allow them to improve that. Older players, they might not improve that much. If you watch games of Super Rugby games, they still commit penalties. Very few of them also. And you see a flow of the game because of the talent of the players. They're all world players. They all have caps, and that's why they play Super Rugby. And that's because of the level they have. And I think we see tons of penalties, tons of silly mistakes. It's because of the bad decisions, because of the level of players, and that also tells the level of tournament is. But that's how it also grows. In the future, we'll have better players, and the tournament will grow.
Yeah, and a better game.
We'll show better games. Let's hope.
I also think that you have like, you see penalties and you see bad decisions and handling errors in all of the teams. We also see, or I also see that I think Cobras and Raptors need to work. They have to put their energy on keep kind of a level type of game during the 80 minutes, because is happening is like 60 minutes on and they just turn off and they lose the game just there. They start losing at the minute 60.
They're able to resist around the 60-minute mark of the game and then they just fall down.
Yeah, so they need to work on that. Like the first thing they have to do is to make a squad that can play for 80 minutes at the same level, like at the same intensity, defending as they defended in minute 20 and in minute 80 at the same level. They are new, they're very inexperienced, and I understand that, but that's for me the main thing they have to work to kind of make a game more entertaining and to stay and just to stay alive at the tournament.
In the competition. Well, but we've kind of came to a not a conclusion, but we kind of see so far after 3 rounds where we think each team is positioned.
Yeah, kind of a
ladder.
A performance ladder.
Exactly, where we think they are.
Yeah, on top we have Selknam, definitely.
Undoubtedly, they've been the best player, the best team, the best performance, and they showed it on.
And we only see two games. With 2 games, that's enough for us. Then, not as close as we thought that we will see them is Peñarol, and Dogos is right there as well. And
the only reason Peñarol it's really not close to.
Yeah, you have like Selknam here, and then you have here Peñarol. So you should have it here, but you don't.
Or even at the same level, but no. And I think right now the only difference between Peñarol and Dogos is the experience.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's what would define the game between both of them. I think that's what keeps keeping them ahead. Yeah.
And then the other thing that we didn't see coming is that Pampas is not right there with Dogos as it should be, or as we thought it would be, but instead it's a kind of wrestling for the four position with Yacares.
Exactly.
And we didn't see that we really didn't see that coming.
No, Yacares games were really good.
Yeah.
With really good intent, and they lost against Dogos, and the win against Cobras was, despite everything we said, was good, and they are showing intent, and they have to solve certain issues, of course, handling errors, as we said, and kind of scoring when they have the chance in the 22s. But right now I think they are Pampas and Yacares, they are both playing for 4th spot, and of course Cobras and Raptors are in the bottom, as they are in the bottom of the table, because both of them have no points. I think Cobras has. I don't know if Cobras.
We have to check that information.
I don't know if Cobras has a defensive losing bonus, but I think, but yeah.
So that's the tournament so far. That's our review of round 3. Next week will be round 4, and we have, I think, kind of interesting games to see. The first one will be Dogos against Selknam. Selknam was on leave this week and is back and will be playing against Dogos, which I think it will be very interesting seeing how Dogos can manage that game.
And Selknam is the first game away they have, so
Then we have Cobras against Peñarol. That kind of has to be an easy game, I have to say, for Peñarol.
Yeah, I think Peñarol, they know how to score points, and they think they're gonna beat Cobras.
And then you have Yacares against Raptors, which also has to be a very easy game.
Yes, but once again, Yacares has to score.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's gonna be another Cobras game.
Yeah. So we will see what happened the next week. But thank you for watching.
Yeah.
If you get this far, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye. Listo.